fish world. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about some filters and some cleaning and kind of how I deal with that in my tanks. I have two 3-gallon betta tanks. I have a just actually slightly larger than a 3-gallon guppy tank, and I have a 2-gallon fluval speck frog tank that has some shrimp in it. So what I do with those is I have here an example of filter. This is a fully submersible filter. It is adjustable here. You can set it to higher flow or lower flow. And what I really like about this one, this is a Cascade 170 made by Penplex, is that the water comes out here, when it filters, it shuts out here, but you can change direction. So I can say, oh, I want to have it against the back of the tank. Maybe if I'm, got beta in there, I'll have it right up against the back of the tank to kind of help buffer that, or I can have it shoot straight out, or I can have it shoot to the side. This can be set on its side. It can be set straight up. It can, pretty much however you need to do it. It's got a little muffler here. This sits outside your tank, so suction cups in the back, and I really like this. I've used it. Inside, here is your filter, and actually, this was a lot larger. It filled up the whole thing. I cut off some of the top and I put some charcoal filter pad on top of there, but it started out being bigger than that. Put it right in there. Snaps right on. Put it right in. So this is a version of a submersible, and I do small tanks. So my biggest tank really is just slightly larger than a 3. So everything I'm going to be showing you is basically geared towards that size tank. Beta, guppies, anything you can keep in a small tank, little dwarf frogs and whatnot. So that's the filter for that. And I recently got this. It is by Azoo. It's the Mignon Filter 600 Generation 2. And I got this because it was actually rated really, really well for betas. I got this on Amazon. I think it was like $12. It was pretty cheap. But it does, I think it's like 15 or 16, I can never remember which that is, gallons per hour, which for a guppy is really good. And it's got adjustable flow. I don't know, I really like this tank. This filter. It's 15 liters in volume. I don't know, it's just really good. And there's a really good video by Asian Dude 666 where he uses this filter and he shows you how to modify the media in here so that does a little bit of a better job. And I actually use his system, and it works out really well. And his videos are pretty good. So this is the hanging filter that I have on my beta tanks. I purchased some extra foam. I like this foam a lot better than what was in there. It's made by Aquarium Fluval, so yeah, pretty cheap. I liked it. The other thing that you can do is, this is another type of filter. This type of filter uses a little pump here, and you've got the air hose, and it hooks right up to this Penplex Small World filter. You can use it for some of these smaller, things. Fits all shapes and sizes, and basically these, it says you cannot modify them. There's some charcoal, there's a sponge. These are cartridges. You pull it, let me move it back here a little bit. You pull it out and you put it back in. Right here is where it hooks up to this power. I guess you can't see them in the way. Hooks right up here into the, for the power head, so you put it right there. Blows bubbles. When I use one of these, especially for my beta, I like to add one of these flow adjusters so I can make the flow stronger or softer. Now, interesting thing about this is I made this modifiable. I actually, if you take this cartridge off and turn it around, the back of the cartridge is just kind of like hot glued or something to the back. I got on there with a little screwdriver, pried the back off, and it leaves me access to this. I can rinse out my sponge. I can change out, this charcoal media. So I've actually made it what is the word I'm thinking of? Made it where I can kind of change it. Then just put a rubber band around it and boop, pop it right back in. So suctions to the back. So, you know, I've had to use this a time or two. This is a new one, but the one I have, I've used it before. Blows up bubbles, and if you have to kind of go that route, you don't have a choice, or you're traveling, or whatever the situation might be, and you just need something small, quick, fast you can take with you. This is pretty good for that. I also have, you know, talked a little bit about decorations. So, little driftwood. You want to boil this for, you know, several hours, get the tannin out. A little piece of driftwood. You can attach plants or do whatever to that. Rocks. I'm actually a fan of Anubias, so I like to attach plants to these. Then you want to clean the tank or do things, you just take the whole rock out, the whole plant's right there, and you have total access to all the gravel and everything. Again, you know, boil these up, make sure you don't have any bacteria or anything on them. This is a sponge. They sell them for acrylic tanks. This one's for a glass tank. All my tanks are glass, so get in there and clean things out. Now, this is actually biomedia. I've talked about that before. Biomedia, it has all these little porous cells, and it really gets good colonies of bacteria on there, and you pretty much want to, you know, leave these in your filter. When you rinse things out, you want to, when you're cleaning your tank, you're doing your monthly service, and you're rinsing out maybe your biomedia, your sponges, whatever, you always want to make sure that you're rinsing them in your old fish water that you've removed. You rinse these under clear tap water, or even your tap water you just made is not good. It's not as best for it, but tap water will definitely, untreated, will kill the good bacteria. You really just want to rinse these things out really well, your sponges out really well. You want to rinse them out in the tank water you've just removed. So this is biomedia. And what I like to use for charcoal is, I don't like to use the loose charcoal as much. I use this. It's like looks like a pad or something, but you can cut it. I cut this down to fit, you know, in whatever system I'm using. It comes really big. It comes in this huge, you know, cut to fit filter pad, you know, carbon whatnot, and wow. So, you know, $5.99, and I've been using it for, you know, gosh, forever. I've actually never had to buy a new one yet, but carbon needs to be replaced about every 2 to 3 weeks, so this is the one thing you're going to use more often than anything. Put it in, cut it to whatever size you need, you know, big sheets, small sheets. I use little squares, and just throw it out every, you know, once a month. About once a month I replace the carbon in there. It gets all the nasties out, and you don't want that. You know, your sponges you can rinse. These, you don't do that. You just get rid of them. They actually do the same thing in, you know, pads and the other stuff that you want to, you know, filter pads that you can put in there. Buy a big sheet, cut to size. That's, you know, pretty much how I do it. Makes it sort of easier for me. My only other tool I really have is this is a gravel vacuum. Kind of get it in there, you know, you want to put it in your water, and you just up and down, up and down, up and down as fast as you can, and it starts to fill up. You'll see the water, you know, filling. It'll come through the tube. Your tank has to be higher than the bucket that the other end is in, or it's not going to work. So this end, down by the floor, I use a little clip here to clip it to the bucket. Tank's up higher. So here's your tanks up here, and you want to make sure that your bucket way down here, and then get that suction going. Sometimes if we're doing something small, I just use this. It's actually made by Marina. It's like a little beta. It costs like, I think it's like $7. I got this for $2 on clearance. Basically, it looks to me like just regular old baster. I don't really know if you have to spend that much or buy the special beta one, but just kind of get in there, and in between cleanings, you can kind of pick things out that you need. Last but not least, secret right here, the secret. And I got this off of a YouTube video of a young girl cleaning her beta tank. But this right here, get into all your nooks and crannies and crevices and scrub around. This is a soft bristle, so I can kind of get my rocks around my roots and stuff. So when you're, you know, cleaning things, gets right in there, gets all the algae and whatnot on, and clean everything. And yeah, now and again, you know, just pop it into some boiling water for a few, you know, seconds or whatever you need, and take it out, and it's all clean and clear and sanitized, and gets right in there. Does a great job. So as far as maintenance, that's pretty much what I do. Thank you.